Good, be bad, but be good at it. What's up, everybody? It is that time again. It's me, it's DJC, D to the J with the roll away. Welcome, everybody. It is 2 o'clock Eastern Time on Wednesday, and it's time for episode 42 of My CP Does Not Define Me, and can you believe it? 42 episodes, man. I'm so happy to be back. Hey, everybody. And as you come in, hey, Cindy, hey, Crystal, as you guys come in, be sure to leave us a comment. I just want to start off by saying thank you so much for the prayers and concerns for last week. I had a back issue, and I'm back in the saddle again, as they say. So I am good to go, and everything is great. And, like I said, everybody, was checking on me to see how I was doing. And I really appreciate you guys coming in and, seeing how I was. I don't like missing shows, and I don't do it often, but unfortunately, I had to do it last week. So, I'm back in the saddle again and glad to be back. It's been cold, and, I tell you, transfers with CP can sometimes be a real problem. And if you use the bathroom with your socks on, be careful when you transfer because you can slip. And unfortunately, that's what happened to me. So I am happy to be back and happy to be in the saddle again and ready for a great show. I also want to comment just a little bit on the show week before last. I've got to tell you how amazed I was at how well the show went and how powerful that show was. I have done in the 42 episodes that I have done for now number 42 for My CP Does Not Define Me. In those episodes that I have done, the show the week before last was just absolutely amazing with Steve Brent and Miss Edwina Wilson. So with that being said, I'm actually waiting for my guest to come on. She is wonderful, and she has been a guest on my show many times before. So I will say this: I will be honored to have her when she comes up. I know she's getting ready, so we're going to give her just a minute. But I want to talk just a little bit about. I want to say a very special thank you to my fans and all of those that have been watching the show and that have been commenting. I have a young man that has watched every show that I've ever done, and in addition to commenting on every show that I've ever done, I every week I post my shows on YouTube, and I've been posting those for like I said, 42 episodes now. And there's a young man that has watched, and he listens to me on, I guess, on his way to work. I guess he's got a pretty long commute. His YouTube channel is Flint of Steel, and I basically, he contacted me one day. He had gotten into listening to my shows and told me that he was, very inspired by what I do, and gives him something positive to listen to. And as I continued to doing shows, I noticed that he was, he would get behind a little bit, but he would catch up, and he would watch, 2 and 3 shows in a row. And he told me, he said, man, every guest that I have, it does something for him to be able to listen, and it gives him something to hold on to and something to go with and to fight with throughout the week, so that he has, ammunition to get throughout the week. And to hear that, and a lot of people watch my show that way. And as I've said, when I do this show for people. I do this show to show people that you can, and whatever you want in your life, if you want it bad enough, you go for it and you get it done. So amazingly, what we're going to talk about today is just that. It's finding the ability even with a disability. I know Nikki has been another one that has been a faithful fan to watch every show she comes on. Cindy has come on. I know that many of you come on every week and you guys comment and you guys, ask questions. And like I said, it makes me feel good to be able to do this for the reason of people listening and watching and knowing that I'm affecting somebody. Whatever show that I do, whatever topic that I have is going to help somebody throughout the week. And if somebody hears my show, one person hears my show and can have a positive attitude or a positive outcome. Hey, Lena, how you doing? Hey, Jed, welcome to the show. Thank y'all for tuning in. It just makes me happy to know that people are watching and are affected by a show that I do every Wednesday at 2 o'clock and how much I enjoy doing it. So, finding the ability in disability. Now, that right there in itself is a two-parter. Because everybody has goals and everybody has ability, regardless of what disability you have. And I want to break that down even further and get past the disability part. I don't look at disabilities as disabilities. Everybody has a problem that they face every day. Everybody has things that they go through every day. Everybody has choices that they have to make every single day. And in those choices and in those things that they look for, everybody has goals. Now, whether or not you reach those goals is up to you. But there are a couple of keys that I want to talk about as to why you don't want to let things get in your way. And when my guest comes on, she's gonna talk a little bit about that too, and that's why I'm so honored to have her. It is imperative that this show right here talks about this, because people have goals, but often they will let their disability get in the way because they think no one notices. I have been told several times by someone very special to say, you never know who is watching you. Always be aware. You never know who is watching you. And the problem is, people think that they're not reaching the masses or they're not doing their job. Now, let me bring in the CEO and founder of Kelly's Choice, Miss Edwina Wilson. There she is right there. Hey, Miss Winnie, how you doing, sweetheart? Oh, I think she got to get a mic plugged in. Hold up. Can you hear me? Wait a minute. You good? Uh-oh. Yeah. So in finding that ability, in finding an ability, even with the disability, it can be tough, because a lot of people will ask the question and say, well, what can I do? What can I do? What is my special ability? How do I find my niche, as it were? Or how do I find that ability to say, look, I've got to see what I can do, what I can say. How can I be, not necessarily even be inspiring? Hey, Kimberly, how are you? It's one of those things that when you want to find when you want to find what you're passionate about, that's the first key right there. When you want to do something, whatever it is, whatever that is, you got to go through and find what you're passionate about. You've got to go through whatever it is that you want to do in life. First of all, you've got to make sure that you're passionate about it, because if you don't, I don't think you can go through life without passion. I don't think you can do what you love and not be passionate about it, because that's the love that I'm talking about. Everybody that does something, you can't be president of the United States without having some background or some passion about politics and wanting to make the world a better place. You can't just get in there and want to think you can do anything you want. It's just that, I mean, it's that whole piece of trying to find what you're passionate about. You have to know that this is what I'm going to go for. This is what I'm going to go for. This is what I'm going to do. So let me see if I'm going to get to the point of where people realize that I'm passionate about it. And the why. You've got to find your why. And that, I think, is the hardest part about when people want to do something. A lot of times they'll rush into it because it's good for a little bit, and then when it plateaus, they get frustrated. See, that's the thing. When you're passionate about something, it doesn't matter how long it takes. It doesn't matter how long you have to wait. It doesn't matter how long you have to go for something, because that's going to be your, when you hit the home run, it's going to be powerful because God intended you to do it. And a lot, and I understand that it can take time for something to go through. It can take time for something to come about. One thing starts out with how we are raised as a child with cerebral palsy. That's true. That's true. I mean, it's one of those things where you have to go in and it does have to do with how you're raised, because a lot of people are set into, this is what you want to do. Sometimes the parents will put you on a path. Let me say this. Parents are great, and I understand what parents want to do, but every child eventually has to find their own. Every person eventually has to find their own. They have to find their own life. They have to find their own path, and they have to find their own way, because children are going to become adults. Okay. But the problem is that people try to live. A lot of people try to live through their parents. A lot of people try to live through someone else that inspired them. But you've got to do what's right for you. You've got to be the person that you want to be, not because your mom or dad told you to, but you've got to be the person that you need to be, because it's you, and it's your journey. Each individual. Hey, Shayna, how are you, sweetheart? Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. Each individual journey is by each person, and no two journeys of anybody are the same. They may come along the same path to get there. They may come along some of the same ways, but each journey is different, even if you have the same disability. So finding your ability in even having a disability is going to make you stronger, because people are going to see you succeed. Now that's going to be the first topic that I want to talk about. You can't not everything that you do with passion is going to show your success. There is no failure when you're passionate about something. There may be a different way of doing things. There may be a different route that you take if the first option doesn't work. All right, and that can happen. So now let me bring in again the CEO and founder of Kelly's Choice, Miss Edwina Wilson, as my special guest. Let me bring her in. Hey, Miss Wilson,
hey.
You got it. You got it. I saw you working with it.
I got to learn to leave things alone. I'm not the tech person. My husband is, and I'm sitting here messing with stuff.
I saw you where I said, I know she gonna get it because I got to tech. You said, "Don't let me in yet. Don't let me in yet." I said, "Oh man." So I just introduced you, and I want to say this. We were talking about finding your ability even with the disability, and one of the things I said was you have to be passionate about what you do. And the reason I love having you on my show, every time you're on my show, when I think it can't be better, it ends up being phenomenal. And I talk just a little bit about, whatever you do in life, whatever goal you set, it has to be your journey. It can't be anybody else's, because some parents want to instill in their kids, you can do this. But is that what that child is really passionate about? Or are they passionate about it because their parents gave it to them or showed them the way? How do you find your own passion? And I just want to, in reference to Kelly's Choice and in reference to helping people, with disabilities, you're a shining star in the world, Ms. Wilson. I've said this 100 times. How did you know that this was it, that you what you wanted to do? You said, okay, boom, this is what I'm going to do, and you kind of just ran with it.
You mean are you talking about as far as Kelly's Choice?
Well, with anything that you chose, because you do so many things for people. There's not just one thing that you do, but yeah. I believe that everything that you do has enormous passion in it. And I don't think you're a person that does something without passion in it first.
I know, sometimes I'm so spontaneous with things, though. Sometimes I can just do things just at the snap of a thought. Mm-hmm. And, for some godly reason, I'm going to say it like that. I put God first in everything. So definitely, when I think of something mm-hmm. and I just do it spontaneously, it works. It works. I do things with integrity, for one thing, and I do things to intentionally help someone, support someone. So I just feel like because I use that, the integrity, purpose, with intentions to help, it always seems to work out right, So you was going to say something?
I agree. I notice, like you talking about, sometimes you just do things, and you have, but see, the energy that you put in it. I thought I had energy. Then I met Miss Wilson. Lord have mercy. Your energy is, and I mean, you can go from 0 to 60 like that.
Quick.
But I think because you're involved with people all the time, mm-hmm. there's a right way and a wrong way to do things. And you've said, I can get my point across without being nasty. I can get my point across, mm-hmm. and there's a right way to do it. And I love that, because I think people and disabilities, we got to bridge the gap. And there's such a large gap, and there's such a large fear there, due to misinformation, and people are scared to ask a question a lot of times because they don't know how.
Right.
And one of the things that I love about you is you're a teacher, you're a mentor, you're a mother, you're a caregiver. You've got so many titles, but your titles don't affect who you are. And that's what I mean by being passionate about something. Your goal, you say, if I touch one other person, that's
Good enough for me.
Yeah. And I think that's what I would like to see our world come to. When you're looking to do something, if you can affect someone in a positive way,
right?
I agree. Go for it. Now I got to put this comment up here because Miss Nikki just said it. Now I'm gonna let this one. I'm gonna let this one sit here for a minute. I missed the Kelly's Choice Radio show. Well, see now I miss it too. Them Sundays weren't the same, boy. 6 o'clock.
Oh, I got you, Nikki. I've been working. I got you. I got you.
But again, see, I think I love the fact that you're a teacher too, because I'm passionate about a lot of things. And this comment here, my mom has taught me at a very early age, to be the best I can be, no matter what I want to do in life, to reach my goals, no matter how long it takes me. Of course, the big one, be brave and stand tall like a giraffe. I'm doing so many things that I know are making her proud as she continues to watch over me. Now, see that right there, that's doing something for someone, because you're still doing it, but you're doing it with what they instilled inside of you. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. But for instance, I remember so many, because Miss Wilson and I share a lot of things, and we talk a lot. And I was a very much 6 months ago. Now see that right there.
My bad.
That's all right. I was a box thinker. I was very much. I have one path. I have tunnel vision. I have one thing, and I was focused on that one thing. Miss Wilson said, I want you to do this. I want you to start an Instagram. I want you to expand your brand. And as she listed those things, that first knee-jerk reaction was, this woman lost her mind. I can't do all that. Because when someone pulls you out of your comfort zone, you get nervous. It's like, wait a minute, I can't do that. And my automatic reaction was, she's crazy. I ain't doing that. I ain't got time for all that. But I want to say this. Think about when someone's trying to pull you in the right direction for the right reason. Because again, I said, they want to see you succeed. Everything that Miss Wilson does for somebody, she wants to see them succeed and then branch off and continue to help people. And that's my whole piece of, now I have the Instagram and the blog and the 2 YouTubes and I'm getting bigger, and camera equipment and lighting equipment, and things are coming in everywhere. And I'm like, okay, now I got a lot. And I live by my scheduler, because I realized the main reason that I wasn't doing as much as I could was because I wasn't managing my time. So you have to look at all of these things when you want to do something, and you say, exactly, Shana, Miss Wilson understands us. That's all it takes is to touch one. But you think about just touching one, and the passion that Miss Wilson bestowed inside of me was a chance that she gave me. And here's the point that I want to make. I've been in radio and I've been talking for a long time, but my voice wasn't going anywhere. I was doing something positive, but I was missing something. And I think God showed me that Miss Wilson was the cog in the machine that made the machine go. She was the one. Her and Mr. Wilson were the ones to really bring out that side of, wow, he does it, and he does it well. Let's give him the platform to do it with. And I'm like, wait a minute, okay, this just got real quick. So it's like, I'm just so thankful for that. I mean, that this radio show right here has blossomed into something more than I ever thought it could. I mean, just the effect that it has on the people, and something you've said, just keep going. You got to keep reaching. Don't put yourself in a box and say, this is as big as my show is going to get.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm gonna tell a little story, and this is why I love Miss Wilson so much, and talking about finding the ability in your disability. This is how Miss Wilson makes me think, and this is where I get that this woman has lost her mind. Because I want you to think about this. I had started my YouTube, and we were developing 5-year plans, and I said, I want 1,000 subscribers. And Miss Wilson looked at me, and she cocked her head to the right, and she didn't frown. She didn't, but she looked at me like, really? That's what you want? Like, and I said, okay, what did I do? She said, think of it this way. Now, I want you to notice when someone says, think of it this way, watch what happens. Don't put limits on yourself. If you get 1,000 subscribers and you stop because you reach your goal, what does that do? It stifles your dream.
That's right.
She said, you want 1 million plus. And I'm like, Miss Wilson, that's so big. That's so big. She doesn't want me to stop. She doesn't want you to stop. If you're thinking about starting a business, don't say I want $100,000 in the first year. You want 1 million. You want 1 million. You want 10 million, because don't put a limit on yourself before you ever start.
That's
and
right.
I didn't realize I was doing that. And people do things without realizing that they limit their self before they ever start. How do you? Let me ask you this, Ms. Wilson, because how did you think this way? Have you always thought this way? I mean, was there a point where you limiting yourself at a point and you said, I've got to change my way of thinking?
No, I just really never put a limit on anything. I mean, when you put a limit on something, you're really shutting yourself from just becoming bigger than you even think you could become. So you should never put a limit on wanting to become someone great, or wanting to become this big guru on YouTube, or anything like that. Don't limit yourself. Let it grow as big as it can possibly grow. I've never put limits on myself.
Right.
I ran track in middle school. Look, we called it middle school back in the day. Okay, now I don't know about no junior high. I mean, we called it junior high school. They called it middle school now. It was junior high school at the time. Okay, so in junior high, I could have put limits on myself, right? And that's what I think back to when we talk about limits. I never did. I wanted to become great, so putting limits. I'ma just run track. When you say I'ma just run track, what that mean?
That's all you're gonna do.
That's all I'm gonna do. But I ran track. I played softball. I played basketball. I was a cheerleader. I was a pom-pom. I played volleyball. That's because I kept myself open and available for any other thing that I knew that I was capable of doing. When you know you're capable of doing something, then you go for it. Don't put limits on yourself just because you do or don't have a quote unquote disability, what society say, but we say different ability because everybody's different in their own unique way. Okay. Not everybody is disabled.
Right.
Not everybody is disabled. I'm kind of not really liking that word disabled. I get it. I understand why they say that, but not everybody's disabled. With a condition. If you have a condition, that doesn't mean you are disabled. Is the better way I want to say it.
I love that. And again, it's a different way of looking. And the more I hung out with Miss Wilson and the more we started interacting, see, here's the thing. Miss Wilson is addicting. I got to be honest. Once you start thinking in her mindset and then it becomes your mindset, you're like, ooh. Because here's the thing. Our biggest critic is ourselves. We will put limits on ourselves before anybody else will put limits on it. Now, here's one thing I've noticed. If you tell someone, for instance, I want to be a stand-up comedian. Okay. Or I want to be an auto repairman, or I want to be an airplane pilot. And someone says, you don't want to do that. Don't do that. You can't do that. Don't let others tear down your dream. If it's something that you really want, and it's something that you're focused on and you're passionate about, and you see yourself doing, go do it. I'll be honest. There have been several times in my life people tore me down before I ever set one foot on the floor. And you know why they tore me down? Because I allowed them to intimidate me. I allowed them to tear me down. I allowed them to say, you can't do that because you're disabled. You can't do that because you're in a wheelchair. You need to think practically about what you can do. You're not going to jump out of an airplane. Now, with going on, 4 years of knowing Edwina Wilson, watch me jump out of the airplane. I'll scare people, and I'll do it without a parachute. Y'all don't understand. She has totally transformed my way of thinking because of the mindset that she has and the positive impact. And that's a big piece. Mm-hmm. For someone else that is in your life that is guiding you and teaching you and mentoring you, for them to have a positive impact on you before you start, you're going, man, I can go the extra mile. Mm-hmm. She's the motivator in the corner. When I'm out of energy, give me 5 minutes. If you just give me 5 minutes, and then 5 turns into 10 because she said so. I remember I was so tired. I did a show, and I wasn't going to do my show because I wasn't feeling it. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes you have those days where you're like, Lord, I can't get out of bed. Yeah. And Miss Wilson, I called her, and she called me. It was 12:15. I said, okay, I ain't doing my show. She said, give me 5 minutes. And it is very difficult for me to say no to Miss Wilson. I don't want to talk about that because here's the thing. Miss Wilson wants to see me succeed and others succeed who follow. Think about that. When you have somebody that wants to see you succeed and knows you have something, she knew that once I got in front of that mic and once I started going, the passion was going to come out. We did the World CP Day. She was going on an hour of sleep. An hour. We went all day long with no break. No break. But we did it because we're passionate about what we believe. And I think that is the piece of the puzzle that people have to time. Let me tell you something. In high school, I ran for homecoming queen, but unfortunately, I didn't win. But in my family's eyes, I had already won. Now, see, that's different because when you have the support system, you're a winner no matter what you do, and that I think that is self-confidence in somebody is one of the biggest things to go. I gotta say this. Edwina Wilson is one of the most confident women I've ever met in my life. I have seen people. She truly says and does this. This is what she lives by. She doesn't let negativity in her life. And I have seen people say, "Oh, I don't let negativity get me down." Lord, if I don't get this job, what do you already?
You're already speaking it, right? If I don't get this job, you already not having hope in it. You got to keep hope alive in anything that you do. Always keep hope alive. Trust and believe that, you know what, I'm going to get this job. You just got to really claim it. Anything you really want, you really have to claim it. And you speak those things that's not as though they are. So that's claiming it. You have to do that.
That's what I was like.
Something. Speak it into existence. I'm going to get this job because this. But definitely check and make sure everything about that, whatever it is that you want, is everything you want. It perfectly lines up with what you want, you know. So that's when you start speaking those things into existence and claiming those things that you want, because it lines up with everything you're looking for,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
I love the fact, and again, the reason I decided to do this show like this is because there's so much negativity going on in the world right now, but you can find positivity even in a bad situation.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
and I've got to tell you, the speak those things as though they are, that phrase in the last month, I have asked Miss Wilson to say that probably 50 times because because I just I've been trying, to get a house for a while now. And Miss Wilson says three things. Don't rush, find what you want, and speak those things as though they are. And I'm like, Miss Wilson, she's like, don't say anything else. Just
Right. Right.
find what you
Right.
but see the mindset of what you're doing. You're
Right.
eliminating the no.
Right.
The no.
Exactly.
You're taking the no out of the equation. Miss Wilson, I think you told this story to me. Was it yesterday or the day before about when you said I don't have enough money to move back to Virginia, and then you
Right.
said wait a minute, and could you just share just a little bit on that with the claiming the house, and then your daughter did the same thing.
Right. So the thing about that, what I was sharing with DJ, I was living in Maryland. That's my hometown, actually. I was home and I wanted to come back to Virginia. And I kept saying, oh my gosh, I can't afford to go back. I can't afford to go back. And then one day it hit me, and I said this for a while. And one day it hit me, why are you speaking that into existence? So as long as you say, I can't, guess what? You're not.
You won't.
You're not going to see a way to do it because you keep saying, I can't. So when you do those things, it ingrains in you, and it can hinder you, and it can slow you down, and it can keep you in a comfort zone. I don't want to be in no box. I don't like being in no comfort zone. I like my wings to spread and keep going. So it hit me one day, girl, why you keep saying you can't? You know you can. So as long as you keep saying you can't, you won't. But what is it about you that you can't? And when I sat there for a minute and I thought about it, nothing. And you know what? At that moment, I started going online for Virginia Beach area to see what was available. I took 2 road trips. I think it was two road trips. And that second road trip and getting back home, I got the phone call that one house that I was looking at that I really liked. I said, okay, I'm done. I don't want to look at nothing else. This is it. I'm going to leave this journey alone, and I'm going to believe the one we're going to get. And we got home, and the next day I got the call that we got that property. Just that easy. So when you change your mindset and say what you want, claim what you want, believe you got it, you're going to get it. But you just got to believe it and trust the process. Everything is a process. It really is a process.
There's a couple things.
You just got to believe.
There's a couple things that you said there that I want to go back. First of all, when you were saying I can't, you were in the mindset of you can't, and you didn't. When she changed her mindset, immediately, now think about this, guys, and this is what I'm talking about. Finding the ability, no matter what problem you face. Okay. Immediately, when she changed her mindset, she took a road trip, and then she started looking at houses in the Virginia Beach area. Translation, she took action. She put her faith into action.
You got to take action.
You have to make an effort. If you want something in life, it's not going to be handed to you. You want a simpler example than that? Can't win the lottery if you don't play. That's it.
Right.
Let me give it to you on basic terms. So she came down. She said she took 2 road trips. She came down the first time, got stuff in order. Said, all right, this is what I want to do. Kept talking, and having those conversations with God and saying, look, this is what I want. Okay, now here's the other thing, and this is the piece. This is where I'm not at yet. I'm working toward it, but I'm not there yet. She found a house that she wanted, and she left it alone and said, that's the house I want. That's the piece I'm like, Lord have mercy. If I could have that, if I could do that, my life I'd be running already. Because you have to think about how powerful what she's doing is. She's taking all the doubt, all the crap, all the SHIP and putting it out here and pushing it out of her way. And what happened? 30 days. Got the call, boom, house. So I've said it before. Faith without action is dead. Faith without works is dead. And the fact that she did it, now here's the other part of it. And I'm going to have her share this too. I've said before, Miss Wilson has a tremendous effect on people. When she's talking and when she's excited and happy, which is almost all the time, I have to be around her. It's like being at a buffet where you just can't get enough of the food that you want, and you just digging in there, and everybody else is like, dang, you've been up here for a long time, but you're trying to get everything on your plate. Let me say this. Learn to be patient. Me included. Learn to be patient. I'm going to go ahead and say this on a limb. People with cerebral palsy struggle with patience. I'm going to go ahead and say it. People with cerebral palsy are OCD. We got to have it now. We want it now. We want it when we want it. Again, I'm saying this because I'm learning it within myself. I have patience, but I can always use more. You can have something, but you've got to learn to use it. Understand what I'm saying? Some people can have patience, but don't lead by example. Miss Winnie's got it, and she will use it. And when someone else doesn't use it, talking about me, she will coach them in a way that doesn't make them feel this small, but makes them ask the question, all right, where am I messing up? Because the only way you're going to learn from a mistake is if you see where the action is. Where are you? Not necessarily that you've done something wrong. Don't think that you've done something wrong when you haven't done anything wrong. That's another one from her. Oh my God, I constantly used to do that. What I do wrong? Oh man, I done messed up. It's me. Look, again, when you put the negative in, you're feeding it. Stop feeding the negative. You want to find your passion. You want to find what you're good at. Stop putting negative in your life. That little phrase. I talk to Miss Wilson almost every day. When I don't talk to her, I get withdrawal. And sometimes I'm like, if I got to realize she's got her own life too. And when you've got 50,000 things going on, sometimes your phone is the least of your worries, and you will put it down and turn it off. And if I didn't hear from her for about 3 days, and I was, Miss Wilson, I don't know what I done wrong. Miss Wilson, I was just going.
And I'm gonna say this for him. What I said to him, I texted him. I said, if you didn't do anything wrong, and I'm gonna let him finish the rest.
Don't assume you did something wrong. And an assumption, you know what it does. It makes something out of you when you put it in there. And notice we don't let go. I'm trying to keep clean. But in the same aspect, there is a right way and a wrong way to say things. She could have came off, boy, would you stop thinking you always do something wrong? She could have came off, if you say, what did I do wrong, one more time? But no, she has a way of putting things into a perspective that I don't see. And that's what I love about Edwina Wilson. That's what I love about finding things out about myself, because this is something that I've probably within the past year just really seen her blossom in. As many things as she does, she has the ability to see in people something they often take time to see within themselves. Shamika Smith, fantastic speaker. This is a child of God, and she is passionate about it. She opened up to Shamika. She's opened up to Christina. She's opened up to Kyle, members of our CP group that we meet with on Fridays. And they've blossomed. Bibiana, whew, Lord Jesus. I really, and again, when you have somebody in your corner, this is so amazing to see it before you do, and to go, you see all that? My change within myself. You ever think of a butterfly coming out of a cocoon? In the past year, that's what's happened to me. No matter how many times people say, don't get a house. You got to do this, and you got to do this, and you got to budget this, and you got to worry about expenses, and you got to worry about the roof, and what about if this leaks, and what about if that breaks? I've done all that. How you doing? I've got it. I even said, and Miss Wilson even said, "Dang, I ain't even think about that." When Miss Wilson says, "Dag, I didn't even think about that," I go, "Okay, I done something right," because you don't catch Miss Wilson off guard very often. And I'm not. See, here's the other thing, folks. I'm not saying to give her a big head, because it's not about when she doesn't see disability. She never has. It's. I'll give you an example. In this show, we talk about finding your passion. One of the things that Kelly Smith is great at? Making someone else smile. And in all the things that she deals with, and all the things that she struggles with, in all the barriers that she has, when she wants to say something, she says it. It may not come out the way you think it should come out, but I'm going to tell you what, she says it. And by the end of the day, if you're not laughing when you talk to Kelly, something's wrong. Here's why I say that. Everybody has a gift. Everybody has a gift. And everybody has a choice to use that gift. See if you know where I'm going with this one, Miss Wilson. The amazing part is the gifts that people have, often they withhold them, and they bury them, because people will listen to the influence of people. Stop living your life for others. Live your life for you, and realize that you ain't got to be sorry for keep commenting. Nick, don't you do that? We just talked about that on this show. I love the fact that she can find, Miss Wilson can find she opens them up. I've never really. That's the thing that in meeting her in all this time and looking at what she's done, because I told her, I said, we were sitting outside, and I've wanted a house for a long time, because when you rent, your money doesn't go anywhere. You're wasting it. The only thing you're doing is giving them money to fix stuff. That's all you're doing. And she said, DJ, you ought to look into maybe getting a condo or a house, or something that fits you, that you want, that's yours. And you know what I said when she said that? Okay, Ms. Wilson. I went in. A week later, I got a call from Miss Crystal, and it's been, y'all know my credit score is 804. And you know how happy I was to know how hard I worked on my credit? Timing is everything. And that's the last segment of what I want to talk on this show, unless we go another 2 hours. But we were coming in, and she said, "Lord," Miss Wilson said, "Oh, I woke up at 12:22," and I said, "Miss Wilson, you the boss. You can be late. I ain't gonna say nothing." but this, God's timing is incredible, and you think of it. I look at this right now, and in my life, and I go, man. Even the timing in meeting Miss Wilson started my patience journey, started, what I was going to do. And I had no idea it was going to become this big. But I just, God has got you in timing. But you got to understand two things. And this is the reason I'm saying this. We're not going to see everything God's got planned until he's ready for us to see it. And that's something that I've struggled with. In my patience, I want things to happen right now. I want to get the house. But when I get frustrated, first thing I do is call Ms. Wilson, because she can feel it, she can see it, and she can say, "What are you really frustrated about? Just be patient. You're gonna find what you need." And her attitude and the pieces that she uses to help people. That's why I say there's nothing this woman can't do. Nothing. Some of the stories she's told me, Mazda 626. I tell you what, and all of everything she does, she gives to so many and does for so many. That's why when I asked her to be on the show today, I said I was already excited, because I knew what kind of show it was going to be. Because when you give something to someone wholeheartedly, it's so peaceful to have her in my life and to come back and say, "Miss Wilson, you were right. I cannot wait till I get my house. I cannot wait." Because when I do, it's going to be that moment of, "Miss Wilson, you see this? This mine over here. And this wall over here. This is my wall over here." But again, I had to see it first. And I had to learn how to change my vision, because I really wasn't looking at having it, aka do a vision board. That's something that we talked about, the little pieces. If you put them in place and put it out where you can see it, vision board doesn't need a lot of words. So, Ms. Wilson, we got like 8 minutes. I'm
already.
Yeah, I'm like, this hour went quick. I'm like, dang.
You know what? I want to say a few things. So first, I want to say, having faith is good, but faith without action is dead. So you can have faith in anything, but you got to take action on that in what you want to have faith in. Okay. And patience is a virtue. So having patience is everything. You got to really implement patience in your life, because timing is everything. And you can't pressure things, stuff, and others with non-patience. So you got to really find that in your life. And it's a wonderful thing to really have patience. Miraculous things can happen when you have patience. Because when you do look at patience, it's timing and it's preparation.
Ooh.
So you got to really just hold out on that. Just find that piece that you have and work from there. Okay. Limitations. Please don't put limits on yourself. Sharon said, when she spoke last year at the CP conference, one thing she said that stuck with me, and I quite often use it in my own verbiage, and that is, when you have to know what your body is capable of doing. So when she said that, that stuck with me. So for you all that have any type of condition, when you know what you are capable of doing and your body is capable of doing, don't put limits on yourself. Just don't put limits on yourself. If you believe in your mind that you could do a certain thing and you know your body is able to handle it, go for it. Go for it. If you don't try, you won't know. But you at least got to give yourself a try. Okay. So you want to keep those things in mind in your daily everyday life. That's even for individuals that have any type of disability that may have limitations on their limbs. Okay. So Tawana Williams, the great Tawana Williams, she was born without arms. She paint. She used her toes. And she paint. She had a baby. People didn't think she'd be able to have a baby. How did she change her baby? She laid her baby on the floor. She took that diaper. She was able to lift that baby up. She took one toe, them two toes, put the brief on. I mean, she did all of that. She was at my first caregivers gala, and she did a demonstration on how she take care of her daughter. She took care of her baby. And she did a demonstration on her pictures, and she had pictures there as well, to show people and for sale. So do not put limitations on yourself. When you know what you're capable of doing or what your limbs are capable of doing, at least give it a try if you're interested in doing something. At least give it a try. You will never know if you don't shoot at it.
To second that, try first. Don't automatically assume that because of your condition or because of your disability that you can't. Remember, we talked about this earlier. Mindset is everything. Mindset is everything. If you start with a positive mindset and said, let me try this to see where this goes, and it may be different than everybody else has to do it. You may have to find a totally different way, and I'm so glad Ms. Wilson shared that story. You may have to find a totally different way to do something.
Right.
But in the end, you get it done.
Right.
That's
at least try. At least try. At least try. Where there's a will, there's a way. Hey, what do you say? At least try. That's what I got to say in reference to that. And look at Cindy.
That's so true. Where there's a will, there's a way. And again, you have to want it. When you're hungry, you eat. When you're thirsty, you drink. If you want something bad enough, go for it. Go for it. Shayna said, just try. You want to get a fantastic story? Go look up Shayna Thomas. Go look her up and listen to some of her stuff. Sunshine on Wheels every Saturday at 6:00. There you go. Promo plug, sis. Gotcha.
Oh, she definitely phenomenal. Now, Shayna was not born with her condition. Okay. She's not automatically born with her condition.
Right.
It was in her, but it took years to come out and manifest itself. Not that everybody wanted it, but it did.
And when it did.
Yes. However, in her journey to finding Shannon, this girl is phenomenal. In her journey to finding herself, it took time. It took years because Shannon had to get to that point in her life where she had to get out of feeling sorry for herself, being in the pity zone, and realizing the strength, the tenacity, the endurance, everything about her. She had to find that and pull it out of her.
The drive.
She had to pull it out. Okay. So when she got sick and tired of being sick and tired, she took action. And when she took that action, doors open, things open, stuff open. She grew. So I asked Shannon, what made her start crocheting? Because she's phenomenal. That's another thing, y'all. If y'all want something crocheted,
Go see Shayna.
go see
Please.
Shayna. Okay.
Mm.
So she said with her therapy, her therapist told her to find something to do where she was able to use that she could use her hands as part of her therapy. So she did a search, she found crochet. She learned to crochet and she's doing phenomenal. She got her own page. You can post that too, Shayna. Post the name
Yeah,
of
I'm
her.
getting ready to say,
Okay, we putting the plug in for you, boo. All right.
look,
But
hat,
however, you got
scarves,
to get to a
gloves.
point in your life where you got to get unstuck,
Mm-hmm.
find friends, keep going, and never put limitations on yourself. Allow yourself to utilize the strength and everything that you have to keep moving.
Mm-hmm. There
Find
it
that
is.
in you. Find that in you.
Yep.
Now, for DJ, when he said, I mentioned say those things to him. Let me just correct it in my verbiage. I mentioned to DJ. I didn't tell DJ. I
Mm-hmm.
mentioned to DJ, this is what I see, or you should be doing this, or why don't you think about doing this? Why
Mm-hmm.
don't you think about changing your YouTube channel to make everything this? Why don't you think about getting a Instagram page because your my DCP does not define me can spread wider, because not only are you posting on Facebook, but you can have it on YouTube, you can have it on Facebook, you can have it on Instagram, you can have it on Twitter. So that's expanding your
Brand.
brand. That's expanding your brand. But when you expand your brand have to be the same in everything. So when you click that, that's DJ. When you click Twitter, that's DJ. Instagram, so when you building your brand, you want to keep your brand the same thing across the board, across all social media contacts. So I mentioned that to DJ because I saw a lot of potential in DJ as I grow to, know him more and more. And I'm thinking to myself, why is he just here? Like, why is he just in this one place and that's all he's doing? So in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna mention to him, why don't you think about doing this? And a blog. Every day, if you could get on Facebook and share things, you could create yourself a blog. That go for anybody out here that's listening right now. If you could get on Facebook and post great messages
You've
and a
already
long
got a
story,
blog right there.
you
You've
could
done it.
create a blog. Those words you put in there, you could create your blog with, and it could reach so many more. And you could touch other people's hearts. You don't know who you can uplift, who you can inspire to keep going, who you could give hope to that's feeling down and want to give up. You don't know who you can lift up or motivate, inspire, give hope to.
Ooh, Ms. Wilson.
You just don't know if you keep your story to yourself and how you made it to where you are today. Somebody needs to know that. Somebody needs to hear that. Somebody out there need hope to pick up and keep going. This is what I say about my caregivers gala that I have every year except last year. My caregivers gala is for that caregiver that can get up and share their story. And it may be somebody that's in the audience, that's a caregiver out there. And they came because they felt like maybe it's somebody out here that can give me hope. Or maybe they came because somebody else said, girl, come on, let's go to this. Oh man, come on, let's go to that. Oh, bro, let's do this thing, So, but it could be somebody out there within the caregivers gala sitting in the audience. And one caregiver gave up there and spilled their self. And they just then gave that other caregiver out there hope. And they gonna go home and be like, you know what? If she went through all of that and still here and still taking care of their individual, was a parent, a sibling, or their own, or a friend, then I need to get myself together and get it right. I need to stop feeling sorry. I need to get out of this zone that I'm in and lift myself up, all because of one person that spoke life into them. Y'all got to understand. For instance, Charles right here. Charles has a phenomenal story.
Seriously.
A phenomenal story. Charles could write a blog every single day and inspire somebody else from all the things that he's gone through in life. And I mean a lot of things he's gone through.
Mm-hmm.
Shayna can inspire someone. Why? Because Shayna was not born right out with the condition that she has.
Right.
So she lived a great life. And then all of a sudden, one day, boom, her life changed within seconds.
Mm-hmm.
But she could share that with somebody today because she could share from my life I was living, where I can drive, go to work, go to any store I want to go to. I could get up anytime I want to get up. I could do all these things I want to now I needed help. And she had to pick herself up. And she had to learn and change her mindset from where she was to where she is today. And her story alone can give somebody else hope. Because she could say, you know what, I was once there before, but this is what happened to me. And look at me now. So I'm just going through, I'm not just little piece of it. But she could give somebody hope. She can inspire somebody to keep going, to do something different. You know, join a club, find some groups out there, let yourself be known. You know, don't sit back. And then we got to look at our parents, because some parents can isolate their individuals.
Yes.
And isolation is not good, because you don't know the potential of your individual if you isolate them. You're keeping them away from the world. You're keeping them away from things that they could possibly be entertaining in and be a part of, because they have it in them, but because the parent took it away from them by isolating them. You know, so I was in Richmond a few years ago. I went to the Olympics, in the Special Needs Olympics in Richmond. And while I was there, I met a lot of great people. And my daughter, of course, she loud, you know, she enjoys it. And when she speaks, people listen and hear, you know. So this one individual came. I was sitting under this tent because it was extremely hot. And I was sitting under this tent, and this guy came over there, and it was this other lady and two other ladies there. And they're the organization of this group that they brought individuals there. And this guy said, you know, he said, this is the best thing that ever happened to me. And the group that I'm with y'all, I don't just say Miss Jane and Andrea. Andrea, Miss Jane, had I not met y'all, I wouldn't be where I'm at today, because my mother kept me isolated. My mother wouldn't let me do nothing. Mind you, this guy was 30-something years old. He said his mama kept him in the house. His mother wouldn't let him go out and do anything. But one day he said something, and his mom finally let him go. And now he's doing amazing things. So if you can speak and write, however you could get to your parent, or if you know someone else that you think is isolated, or know is isolated, or feel is isolated, speak into them. You know, we got to help each other. We got to, you know, be that voice for the next person, that next generation that's coming up. And if it's I'm gonna tell you, it's a lot to be done, but it can be done one voice at a time.
But it can start with you.
Exactly. But if you spread that word, it can happen. You just got to keep sharing, y'all. And if every person on this page that's listening to DJ now, every show DJ have, if everybody share his shows could get even better. And more exposure. And you never know who may need to hear his show. So if y'all share his shows every single Wednesday, you may speak life into somebody else, because DJ don't know everybody.
That's right.
Shayna don't know everybody. Nikki don't know everybody. Charles, Crystal, whoever else don't know everybody. But if y'all share, somebody on your page that's going to see it and can share it to their page, and somebody on that page can share and share it to that. You just never know how that trickling effect can happen going down the line.
I love that word you said, trickling effect. And let me say something to this comment right here. Very true. However, if you share your life and struggles when you are in the middle of it can break you if you're not ready. Learned that a couple of months ago. Now, here's where I've got two things I want to share, and I know we've gone over, but you know what? She's the boss, so we good. I love working with this lady, and I'm so glad you commented this, Crystal, because I'm gonna say this: your story is powerful. I've known Crystal for 10 years, and she's a great friend. And one day, I pray that she shares her story because it needs to be heard. And yes, it can break you, but just because you break doesn't mean you can't heal and you can't come back stronger than ever. And there are people that would love to hear your story because they would want to know how you came out of it and where you are now.
Okay, let me say something to this message right here. So, very true. However, if you share your life in struggles, when you are in the middle of it, it can break you if you are not ready. But she learned it a few months ago. However, yes, it can break you, but at the same time, it can make you stronger because when you share your story, it's healing. Sharing your story is healing because the more you talk about it, yes, you're going to break, but it's release. It's relieving you of the pain and heartache and sorrow and things that you've gone through because now you're talking about it. And the more you talk about it, the more that pain becomes invisible. Okay? So you're releasing that thing and you're making your heart better and you're making somebody else stronger and you're giving somebody else hope and you're allowing somebody else that may have gone through the same exact thing or similar to what you've gone through to say, well, dang, if she's sharing her story and it was all of this, then I just share my story and it's more of that. Okay. So somebody else's story is worse than yours, but if you share your story, you can help that next person. So, Crystal, I say to you, yes, it may break you, but it can heal you at the same time because sharing is healing.
Yes.
And the more you talk about, you're going to be more healed and you're going to want to talk more and you're going to want to talk more. And then you're going to be very comfortable because now you accepted what you've gone through because you're talking about it. So that's acceptance now. And you're able to go head on and continue on. Life is life. Things happen in life. Everybody goes through different things in life. The worst of the worst, you know. But when you start talking about it and sharing it, you're freeing yourself up. You're really freeing yourself up, you know. So I would love to hear one day, and you share your story. I would love to hear you share your story one day, and just help somebody else.
Yep, I was
Do
just
not let what you've gone through hinder you. Do not let what you've gone through, no matter how bad it is. Always remember, somebody got it worse than what you do. Somebody been through something worse than what you have, but they're sharing their story because they're freeing themselves up and they're healing themselves.
Yep, yep. I want to ask you, Miss Wilson, and this may help her too. How if people want to get in contact with you and they want to share their story, what's the best outlet to contact you on just to get out there and how to get to you?
Well,
did I get you? Shit, I ain't never seen that. I segued right in there.
I would tell you something. You know why I did that? Because it took me back to when Nikki said, I miss your radio show, you know. So it took me back to Nikki. And bless Nikki. Nikki will text me and I chat with Nikki, because she has my personal phone number, and I chat with Nikki. So trust me when I say Nikki is keeping me, remembering these things. She really is. So if you ever want to, I will be starting back up next month. Okay. So I will be starting back up next month. I just took a break because I had a lot of other things that I was doing. And as Nikki posted, my mother was sick, very sick. So I was, tended to that as well. But I will be back next month. So if you want to be a part of my radio show, you can send an email to Kelly's, KELLYS. If somebody don't mind putting that in there, I would appreciate that. Kelly's Choice Cares at gmail.com. If you want to be a part of the radio show, or if you just want to chat with me, you can still send an email to Kelly's Choice Cares and we can chat. Okay. And I'll give you my personal phone, Kelly's Choice phone number. Let me say that I'll give you a number where you can reach me and we can talk. I don't mind. You can message me. Kelly R. Smith. You can message me on Kelly R. Smith and we can chat,
And she says she don't mind. I'm telling y'all, she don't mind. Reach out. If you're looking for somebody to talk to, and especially someone that can relate to having a condition or having a disability, reach out to her because it will help you heal. I'm telling you. Go ahead, Ms. Wilson. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. That's why it's hard to trust sometimes. Why you say that, Kim? Did I miss something?
But sometimes the truth won't set you free. Not many people care what someone says. That's why it's hard to trust sometimes. That was
too bad for them. That's what I would say to them. Too bad for you. And evidently it's something wrong with you that you can't receive someone just being truthful with themselves. And maybe they're in a situation that you don't know about. And they don't know how to receive it. But however, you never know what's going through their mind. Right. You never know. You really never know what's going through their mind. So people like that, don't take it personal. Just look at it. Maybe something going on that you don't know about. You can't take everything personal, y'all. Don't take everything personal. Okay. So just understand when you share with somebody and know who you're talking to. Sometimes you got to know who you're talking to.
That's the truth right there. Everything ain't for everybody.
Everything ain't for everybody. Look, y'all, I got this beautiful.
Oh my goodness.
Those the kind of calls I get. That's the kind I love when my grandkids call me. She's calling me on Duo. What's that? Yeah, Duo, FaceTime, whatever. They all the same thing, just a different word. Just different word. Look, Apple got one word and Samsung got another one. Or what do you want to call Android? But anyway, Kim, they may have been in a different place, but don't take it personal. Don't take it personal. There's so many people out there that, need to hear your story. They really, really do. And then you got to find the right audience. So that makes a difference as well. So we can't, you can't take it personal, honestly. And do not, whatever you do, because of something like that, don't let nobody stop you. Don't let that happen. Do not let that happen.
Sorry, y'all.
I know why he's laughing. Okay. Do not let somebody's negative effect you. Okay. Don't do it. Because Kim, we talk. And you got a story as well. Don't let nobody stop you, honey. Just don't let that happen. So yes, when I come back to the radio, Cindy, I'm on the radio every Sunday. I was at 6, but I changed it to 4:00. Every Sunday at 4:00. Okay. And it would be on Kelly R. Smith page and Let Go Radio. And I'm learning other ways of how when I learn, they learn. When I learn, I tell them. So we're going to be doing other things as well. If you are out here in the community and you want your own radio show, you can send me an email or we can chat about it. We can chat with me on Kelly R. Smith, or you can send me an email to Kelly's Choice Cares at gmail.com. If somebody would put that in there, please, I would appreciate that. Kelly's Choice Cares at gmail.com. Okay. So you can send me a message because we get ready to do something different. And everybody has a story. Everybody's dream is different. Everybody's vision is different. You know, everybody's verbiage of how they say and do things is different. So trust me when I say there is no one show that is alike at all.
Right.
It's so many of us out here. And don't start comparing yourself to others. Please do not compare yourself to others because it's so much out here for every single person. It's so much out here. The world is big. It's huge. And you're on radio. You're on social media. It's international. It's global. So it's so many people you could reach. So don't feel like you have to compare yourself, because never compare yourself to anybody else. You're great just like you are. You're just the greatest person that you could be. What about Facebook Live?
It'll be on Facebook Live. Yeah, it'll be on Facebook Live.
That's why I say Kelly R. Smith page.
Mm-hmm.
It's live. Just like DJ, it's live. So the individuals that I started on radio, I'm so proud of each and every one of them. I'm proud of what they're doing. I'm proud of how they're growing. And I am truly grateful that they do take my opinions sometimes and make it their own and grow. You know, all I could do is suggest. Let me say that. All I could do is suggest. But it is truly up to you and what you do and what you feel like is going to be better for you. I'm not going to suggest anything that's going to hurt or harm you, but I am going to suggest something that can grow you and take you out of a comfort zone. If I learn you and I see things in you, I will suggest those things. I will. They know, Shannon know, they all know. I would suggest those things. Okay. So
now you have an event coming up too in March, right, Miss Wilson?
So the Cerebral Palsy, I wish I had the title of it on me. Let me see if I can find it so I can say it right. Because I put some stuff out there, y'all. I don't remember half of the stuff I put out there.
That's because you're going 70 miles an hour.
I don't remember half of the stuff I put out there. So let me find this flyer real quick. But it is this Kelly's. Hold on, keep going, Corey.
I know what you mean.
Kelly said it's not Corey, Ma, it's DJ. Thank you, Kelly. She set me straight too, y'all. Believe it or not, she set me straight. Okay. Okay, so let me get to that. Go ahead, DJ. Keep going.
All right. So while she's getting to that, let me just share my social media real quick. If you guys want to be a guest on the show, you can email me at carterdj85@gmail.com. You can reach me on Facebook Live at DJ Carter. You can reach me on YouTube at My CP Does Not Define Me, Worth the Wait Cooking with DJ Carter, and Chairmaster Games. You can reach me on my blog at my new domain name is My CP Does Not Define Me at Wix.com. You can message me. You can email me. So be sure to check me out every Wednesday at 2 p.m. for My CP Does Not Define Me. And what you got to pull it up, Ms. Wilson. I pulled my last little social media there before.
So it's the world's second annual global Cerebral Palsy Virtual Movement Conference, but it's the 4th annual Cerebral Palsy Awareness Conference. I say global because it's the second year we're doing it global because of the pandemic. Mm-hmm. So it is Friday, March the 26th to Wednesday, March the 31st. So we do it at the end of every month. Is let your voice be heard. Your voice is power. Y'all remember that. Let your voice be heard because your voice is power. Trust me, your voice is power because you're always going to say something to someone else that's going to make sense. and they're going to need to hear that.
Yeah.
Always do things with integrity, y'all. No matter how hurt you may be, or how hurt someone else has hurt you, don't let their hurt somebody else, because that can be a trickling effect, and you don't want that in your life. Keep integrity within you, no matter what you go through. Yes, trust me, I know when it comes to somebody hurting you, it's not a good thing. I've been there, but I did not let that person that hurt me allow me to hurt somebody else. It don't pay good to hurt somebody else. It don't. Just because somebody hurt you, that don't mean you have to hurt somebody else. Always think about your words. Think about your words. Don't be so quick to respond. Sometimes think about it. Sometimes take a moment to think about it before you respond to stuff. So it's 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. We're going to take a break after 2, and we're going to come back at 4. Because remember, I have my daughter. I got to take care of her. Got to feed her lunch and all that kind of stuff. But and plus everybody else need to take a break. So again, that's Friday, March the 26th to Wednesday, March the 31st. It's from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Take a break, come back at 4 to 6. So we are still lining up speakers. You do still have time. If you want to be a speaker on this show, at the conference, send me an email to kellyschoicecares@gmail.com. I ain't seen nobody post my email yet. What's going on? Let me post it myself. I'm going to post my email myself, okay? KELL, Kelly's Choice Cares.
On her page, on her TV.
Kelly said on her page, on her TV, at Gmail.
On her TV. On her page,
Okay.
on her TV. That's what I saw it.
So that's what you want to do. If you want to be a speaker at the Cerebral Palsy Conference, send an email, kellyschoicecares@gmail.com. Let me know what day. Listen, y'all. Listen, let me say this. Do not send me an email saying, do you want me to be on your show? A speaker, okay? Don't send me an email saying, do you want me to be a speaker? Okay? Send an email saying, I would like to be a speaker on your show. And as a matter of fact, in the subject, say speaker. Make the subject speaker. That way I'll know, what it's for. If you want to be have your own radio show, in the subject, put radio show. Okay. So again, if you want to be a speaker at the conference, put on there what day you would like to be from Friday the 26th to Wednesday the 31st, and what time. So if you want 12 to 2, anywhere between that, put 12:30. I would like to be a speaker for 12:30, or I would like to be a speaker for 1 o'clock, or I would like to be a speaker at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock. Be specific in what you want.
Now, understand.
Wilson, my name is such and such. I would like to be a speaker at your Cerebral Palsy Conference. I would like to come on, if it's available, I would like to come on Monday at 4 o'clock, and this is my topic. So let me know what your topic is, and this is my topic. And somebody, myself or my team, will call you or reach out to you. Okay. So we do want to talk about it. Okay. Because everything is not acceptable. Understand that, y'all, because you want to do stuff with integrity. You don't want to come on mad. You don't want to come on mean. You don't want to come on disrespectful. You want to say, hey, listen, I just want to help somebody. Okay. So understand, when I do things, I do it with integrity, and I expect everybody else to do it with integrity as well. And there's no cursing on the radio, no cursing during your show, because you can find other words to use versus curse words. We want to keep it clean. Okay, because we will broadcast this live on the radio.
Understand too that when you ask her about a time, she's got other people that have emailed her already. So she may have to reschedule you or move you around. So be flexible. Okay.
Well, that's
'Cause
why
she,
I said if it's available. I would
Mhm.
like this time if it's available. So, what you could do, let me say this if it's available. I'm going to keep if it's available, but let me say this give 2 different times, okay? Give 2 different times in case that one is not available, this one is. This one may be. So, give me 2 different times that you are available that you would like to come on. And we could make it happen for you. If neither one of those days or times is available, we will definitely let you know. Okay, so we could reach out to you ahead of time, to work that out with you. Okay, so again, this is the flyer. We'll post it again.
right there.
There you go. That's the flyer. Okay, so we'll reach out to you. Y'all reach out to us. We would love to have y'all come on and be a speaker, share your story, whatever you want to share. It could just be a motivation, something. Whatever your topic is, make it work for you and to help somebody else out, to lift somebody else out. Okay. So if you want to be a speaker, that's what you do. If you want to have your own radio show, same thing. Send me a message about radio show, what you would like your radio show to be about, and we could reach out to you in reference to that as well. Okay. So I don't know if I missed anything, but
You good, Ms. Wilson. You hit it out the park.
not good. Okay. I'm trying to think, did I miss anything? All right.
I'm her secretary, y'all, so I'm going through my notes. I'm making sure I got my notebook down here. I'm trying to make sure because, she talked about it earlier. It takes a team, and she's got a good team with her right now. So we're going to be glad to have you. I'm excited about, the conference this year. I got a chance to speak last year. I'll be speaking again. But it's such a phenomenal experience. If you've never done it, Lena Avalos, she had a chance for the first time to speak last year, and she did a phenomenal job. And she has just come out of her shell and done wonderful things.
She opened up. Yes.
So
Yes. It took her out of a comfort zone that she was in, and being able to speak and share. Now I'm gonna tell y'all, it's been some tears and it's been some emotions, but you know what? It's life, and everybody understands.
It's real. It's
Okay.
real.
Yes.
And I think that's where kind of we forget as people that these are real experiences that someone's sharing. And some of them, and Miss Wilson told me one time too, I remember, going to a live event. Ain't nothing like a live event, boy. Woo! When you have someone speak for the first time, and that's the first time they're sharing their story, it's raw to them. And the wound may still be there.
Yes.
So that's the healing that she was talking about in being part of, the healing process and sharing the story to help someone else. So this can be the experience of a lifetime for you if you'll just take a step out of that box and make it happen.
Right. If you want, I saw where yes, Nikki, yes. Okay, in reference to Nikki and Lena, that's never spoken before. Listen, y'all. As I say, everybody has a story. Everybody's journey is different. Do it in fear. Because once you start doing it, you'll open up. But I'm right there with you. I'm along the way to help you. Okay. So I'm along the way to help you. Now I'm going to tell you, this is how it's going to be. We're going to be just like right here with DJ at, right? So if you want me to be beside you, I will. But if you don't want me to be beside you, take me out, DJ.
Watch this. Boop. I can bring her out, and I got magic. Abracadabra. I can bring her back in. Look at that.
This is how it's going to be. So when you're the speaker, you're solo. And the platform is yours. The platform is yours. If you don't want the platform to be like that, and you want me up there with you, or one of my hosts up there with you, then you have that choice, because that's what I do. I'm not like everybody else. I like to, my speakers for everything I do is the professionals themselves, and that's the people who know it better than you do. Now, the professionals are here for a reason, okay? But however, y'all are the professionals in my eyesight. Now, I do sometimes have other people that come in and speak about certain things that's necessary, like I normally would at my local conference. You know, I bring in people to come in and speak, you know, whether it's about technology or attorney I had before, and he talked about able accounts and, you know, all types of things because he specialized in a disability. Um, he's a disability attorney, and that's what he specialized in. And I've since met two more, but they actually have disabilities. So we do that sometimes as well, because that do matters too. It really does. So, but anyway, that's what I have to say. If it's anything else that I may have mentioned that I do or that I have suggested to DJ that he does, if you're interested in me helping working with that, or one of my team members, I can appoint one of them to help you. If you're interested in doing those things as well, just send me an email as well. And you know, that's what we do. We got to help each other. So what we talked about, YouTube, social media, blog, the radio, speaking, any of those things, just send me an email.
So look, I'm gonna close with this. You got to start somewhere. If you're sitting on the edge of your seat and you're watching this show right now, and you're saying, "Man, I wish I could do that, but I've never done it before." Like Miss Wilson said, do it in fear. Don't let fear control you. Put a stop to it today and make a change in your life. Make a difference right now. Make a difference to where you can actually change the world by helping someone else and help yourself. Make a start today. You've got to start somewhere. Put that first wheel forward. Put that first crutch forward. Put that first foot forward and take a chance.
That's it. That's it right there.
You got anything to close with, Ms. Wilson? You want to leave a message for our lovely viewers watching out there?
Only thing I want to say is the things I already said. Remember this. Faith. It's good to have faith, but faith without work is dead. So you got to take action. You can believe something and want something, but you got to start it. You got to start somewhere. And once you start, then you keep the faith there. But again, faith without action is dead. Okay. Believe in yourself. Believe how great you are. Believe how far you came that you can help someone else. Help me help you. Believe how great you are. Everybody has greatness in them. You just got to know what that greatness is within you. Everybody has a gift. Dig deep within yourself to find out what that gift is within you. Okay? And patience. Definitely find patience within yourself and patience for others, because everybody is not on your time. Everything is not on your time. Stuff is not on your time always. So remember that patience is a virtue. Okay? And you could get anywhere with patience, but you can't rush things. And remember, there is a process to a lot of stuff. Preparation is everything. Okay? So remember those things. And sometimes you have to do things in fear. You have to do things in fear. I ain't talking about going out there killing nobody, okay? All right. I'm talking about the greatness within you.
I'm glad you specified that. We don't want nobody taking no hatchet to somebody now. Come on.
Well, Miss Wilson said do it in fear. I ain't say kill nobody. That's for sure. I ain't say go hurt nobody. We don't want nobody to hurt anybody. We don't want nobody to kill anybody. Do things with integrity, y'all. Definitely do things with integrity. But fear, do it in fear. Lena spoke in fear. Jill, Shayna, DJ, all of them started somewhere and didn't know how to start, but they did it. Shayna didn't know where she was going to start, but she did it.
Sure enough.
Lena didn't know how her speaking would go, but she did it because she wanted to. Jill didn't know because she wanted to and she did it. Nikki wanted to and she did it. So everybody that wants to, they did it. And they did it with whatever was on their mind, that fear, that being scared or whatever, they did it. So if y'all out here listening, you have cerebral palsy and you feel you want to speak, just reach out.
The thing about it too, there's a feeling of accomplishment once it's over.
Yes.
Look at how, if I could tell you the difference in some of these young men and women that spoke. There's a gentleman, Kyle. Miss Wilson found Kyle. He was on YouTube, and he spoke about his first year speaking. He spoke about his crutches and how he researched them. Kyle is doing amazing stuff. Over 10,000 views on YouTube. The dude is amazing. He's blowing up. You can do amazing things if you just start somewhere. And this may be the start for you. I want to personally thank Miss Edwina Wilson, the founder and CEO of Kelly's Choice, Inc., for being on my show again today. I always love having her because when Miss Wilson comes on my show, I clear out the whole day because we might go till 9 o'clock. But you know what? Like I said before, I love working with her. It's a difference in working for somebody and working with somebody. I work with Miss Wilson and she works with me, and I love it. It couldn't be anything better. Miss Wilson, thank you for being on the show. I know I'm gonna have you on again. We might do a telethon. We've been talking about it. Well, I could just see. Yeah. But you know what? It's a chance of a lifetime. Why not take the opportunity to help yourself and to help someone else? Make a difference in someone's life. Email, again, we'll put the email back up there real quick before we leave. I got the comment up here, right there. If you want to email about the show, about a radio show, just to chat, Kelly's, Kellys, Choice, CHOICE, cares@gmail.com. Look, I always say, guys, make it happen. Make it happen. Make it happen. But the only way you can make it happen is to take action and get it done. So thank everybody for being here today. I appreciate it. We will see you next Wednesday for episode 43 of My CP Does Not Define Me. And I always say, if you can't be good, be bad, but be good at it.
And I say this, smile for someone every day, because you never know who you may bless.
For this week's episode of My CP Does Not Define Me. But don't worry, you can catch us again next Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on www.letgoradio.net and on Facebook and YouTube at My CP Does Not Define Me. Remember, I'm your host, D to the J with the roll away. And if you can't be good, be bad, but be good at it. We'll see you next week.